Heracross, me.
Heracross, use your massive horn attack.
God, it's always battling with you, innit? As soon as you get me out, you want me to fight something. Never mind, I haven't eaten for 3 months, and there's no pool for me to roll around ever this day. I'm sick of it.
Heracross, get on with it. You're making me look bad, you git.
Making you look bad? How'd you look any worse, you dork? If you don't get me some food in a minute, I'm gonna go bloody ballistic, I tell you! It's been no lie,
Right, that's it. I've had enough of you. Heracross, return.
I ain't returning anywhere with you, you square. I'm going down the chippy. See you later.
Yes. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I am the Angry Trainer and this time I'm going to be showcasing Heracross in the Master League Premier Cup Classic. This Heracross is 93%, it's a 14-14-14. I did have a better one, but this was already part powered up from before when I caught it from Florida, so I just didn't want to spend any more Stardust. As you can see, I'm running quite low on Stardust anyway. We're going to be pairing this up with Togekiss 98%, it's a 15-14-15 in the lead. Don't really like using charm users, but it just seemed like the best pick to go along with Heracross as it's good against the dragons. And then we've got EXCADRILL as well, so it's like kind of like an ABB double steel counter in the back in case we lead a steal with Togekiss. And here, just to rub it in, we have the lovely pink Heracross. It's so beautiful. Oh baby, it's a female as well. So getting into the battles anyway, just a quick note on this team, it is a fun team to run, but it's a little bit hard to run. EXCADRILL is obviously quite squishy and Heracross isn't particularly bulky either, but it can find some play. So into the first one, we had a Gyarados on the lead, so it must have been a Dragon Breath Gyarados as they have swapped out. So they've gone into Snorlax, so this is perfect for Heracross, and this is the good thing about having a fighter in the back there. If they do swap into Snorlax, you can come in and punish that quite a lot. We did shield up that body slam. I think that was just an inexperience with the Heracross. I think this is one of the first battles we had with it. So I shielded it up just to make sure we did win the swap because we want to keep the Togekiss aligned to Gyarados. And now the Gyarados is going to come back in. We're going to be able to get to a Rock Blast. And the Rock Blast is the new move that come out in Season 9 for Heracross. It's not the strongest move in the world and you're not getting the same type of attack bonus off of it because you are just a fighting type. But it's still putting in that work against the flyers, just gives you that extra bit of coverage. So we're getting down the Gyarados pretty low. It looks like they're going to save both those shields for their back Pokemon. They swap straight into that, which is the Metagross, so we do have EXCADRILL. So now it's just a case of outpacing the Metagross to the drill runs and we should be able to take the win. I did get a little bit nervous at one point, thought to myself there's a possibility they could bait me with a Meteor Mash and then hit the Earthquake. But I think it's 8 bullet punches for a Meteor Mash and 10 for the Earthquake. So I think even if they were to bait, we should be alright. Unless they snuck in a couple of fast moves or something, but it looks like we were able to deny them each time. Yeah, EXCADRILL is a very fun Pokemon to use in this league, and it's pretty good in the Open Master League as well. It's got a lot of play in this league, obviously destroys Metagross, takes out Dragonite and Togekiss, and obviously they're very, very common. And I think that's why we've seen so many Waterfall Gyaradoses about. Everyone's going for the EXCADRILL, and now we see some lovely lag. I'm not sure if this is the game or my opponent where he's forced closed the app. Yeah, not really sure what's happened to the servers since Master League rolled around, but they've been really unstable. A lot of lag and a lot of desync. I've heard a few other people say that they've experienced that a lot recently, but it's only seemed to have increased more since Master League's rolled around. Anyway, into the next one, so we've got Dragonite on the lead, so that's a really good lead, and they swap it again straight into Snorlax, so it's just great having Heracross in the back there, just absolutely punishes the swap. And now we know that we can obviously take a Body Slam comfortably and then farm down as much as possible. We let the Body Slam go through. I'm just going to throw the Close Combat as this is a normal Snorlax. I'm sure that the Rock Blast wouldn't KO, so just throw the Close Combat. Expecting the Dragonite to come back in, which it does, and we do get to a Rock Blast, so we'll see how much the Rock Blast does on a Dragonite here. I think it was about the same sort of, yeah, so maybe like a third of the health there. So we bring back in the Togekiss, and my opponent did actually make a mistake because they clicked straight on their Pokemon to bring it back in from when they fainted. So it meant that their switch timer wasn't actually up yet, so we were able to farm down the Dragonite pretty much to nothing. They do swap into EXCADRILL and we go into our own EXCADRILL, and now this is looking a little bit dicey because they may have actually got one ahead of us by swapping in a bit quicker. You have to be so quick on the swaps in this league, I do find. So watching this back, it does actually look like my opponent is desyncing. It does look to me like they're not actually getting the fast moves through. If you see just there, after they threw the charge move, they didn't actually get a mud shot through in between. So it looks like that might actually be the deciding factor in this matchup. Considering they swapped in ahead of us, they should have had at least one more mud shot. But as you see here, we're actually going to get to the drill run. I don't know if it's CMP tie, but we do actually get there before them and we take them out. And I think that that was actually due to desync by the looks of it. But that's a GG to my opponent and unlucky on their part. Into the next one against Daddy Cachino. So we've got a Garchomp on the lead, so that's a very good lead. So expecting the swap. I do one Dragon Tail, I think that was, into the Waterfall Gyarados. And that's a pretty bad swap, and this was early on, so I wasn't quite used to exactly what was going on in the meta, but we're seeing this quite frequently. It seems like everyone is running Waterfall Gyarados on their team. But luckily, if you do swap and you don't let a Waterfall through, then you can get off 2 Rock Slides and you're going to get a shield out of them, so that's at least one good thing. But the play probably was to stay in with Togekiss and maybe try and match up the Garchomp against Heracross, because Heracross doesn't have a bad matchup simply because it resists the ground type moves. So now we're back in with the Gyarados, and because it's a waterfall version, it's going to be doing some damage to us. They do go for a crunch, which is really unusual, and they go for another crunch. So that makes me think that they only have crunch and outrage, I assume, because they would have gone for a water move if they had it. So we're going to throw the Ancient Power and take out the Gyarados, then we're going to go straight into our Heracross, so we're 2 shields up now. So they bring in Metagross, and then they swap into their Garchomp. And at this point I'm thinking I should be alright here. I just need to take out the Garchomp, farm up as much as possible, and then throw a couple of close combats against the Metagross. So as you can see, even though we're resisting the ground type moves, the Garchomp's already pretty much got us down to half health. Now this is where I make a mistake. I let the Sand Tomb through it, and as soon as I let that through, I thought to myself I should have shielded that up, because I'm going to get too low when I come in against the Metagross. Now that I've thrown the close combat, I'm actually debuffed by 4 stages, so we're going to get absolutely melted by bullet punches. We are 2 away from another close combat, so we throw the first one, and then we try to swap into Togekiss to maybe just transfer the damage across, but we don't have enough health to get to the second close combat, so it's a GG's to my opponent, but we definitely should have won that. So into the next battle, it's another good lead, Dragonite on the lead, and they swap straight into their Excadrill, and we go straight into the Heracross, and this is just beautiful. So we're just going to pulverize this little mole down into dust. They hit us with a, was that a Drill Run there, or was that a Rock Slide? I did have a battle where the opponent went for a Drill Run, which was quite unusual. But yeah, they get us quite low with the 2 Rock Slides, but just about to take it. That is neutral due to the bug typing. So waiting to see what comes back in. And they make a kind of good play, because they bring in Metagross thinking that I'm going to throw the Rock Blast straight away against the Dragonite. So at least they get rid of my energy on not very effective. But it doesn't really matter too much anyway, because now they've revealed the last Pokemon. We know that we're all gravy in this matchup. Going to go straight into the Togekiss once they swap into the Dragonite, and I'm surprised that the opponent hasn't backed out by this point. Now at this point, early on in the battles, a lot of people were seeing the matches out, but you're going to see towards the end of the video that Heracross just makes my opponents just rage quit multiple times. And then a little bit of lag there. You can see again, we had the Flamethrower, we were tapping the Flamethrower, didn't even touch any other part of the screen, but we didn't get it off due to the lag. And yeah, so we're just going to go against the Metagross here. It's 2 shields each, but we're going to outpace the Metagross so easy to these drill runs, so this will be a GG's. So luckily I'll make another video or 2 on the Master League Premier Cup, just as it's rolled back around after not having it for a while. But in all honesty, I'm likely going to go into Kanto Cup battles after that, because I just find this meta to be so boring. There's not really that much room for spice. Heracross is a little bit spicy, it does have play, but even then you can tell it just doesn't have the bulk, where it's just only at a 3000 combat power. So we're going into the next one. It's Garchomp, another great lead. We've seen a lot of dragons on the lead. It seems to have just been Dragon or Togekiss. So we go straight into our Excadrill, so this is absolutely perfect. We're going to be able to farm up a lot. So we go for the first Rock Slide. And now it's going to be a case here, do I want to throw or do I want to shield up and then farm up as much as possible? So we're going to actually use the shield, and then we're just going to farm up loads and loads of energy. So we're now at 2 Rock Slides. We go a little bit over that and we throw the Rock Slide. See if the opponent wants to commit shield and win the switch. I don't think, oh my god, they actually do. So it looks like my opponent wants to commit both of their shields here, so that's absolutely fine with me. I do find that a lot of people want to do this in the Premier Cup because they just want to get that switch locked down, but shield advantage is so crucial in Premier Cup. It's quite crazy, especially when you have someone in the back that can obviously take out these steel counters that everyone seems to be running in the back, such as Metagross, as we see here. So we go into it, and we've got a similar sort of thing as to what happened last time, where I've got just the Heracross against a Garchomp and a Metagross. So we're going to see if we can play this a little bit differently this time. And we actually miscount completely, and they hit us with an outrage, so absolutely terrible for us. Yeah, I think I just completely miscounted there, and they're able to take us out, and all we've got left is the Togekiss. And I don't think this Togekiss is going to be able to get to the Flamethrower. Come on, you can do it. Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter though, to be honest, because I don't think this is going to take it out, where it's not getting stabbed. It does a nice chunk of health, but it's never going to be enough. So once again, we lose the battle. We take the big L. Maybe if we shielded the outrage, eh? Yeah, silly. But I guess you can't call the bait every time, so just unlucky. So into the next matchup, got a Togekiss on the lead. I did face a ton of Togekiss mirror matches, and they pretty much all played out the same. We both just go for the Ancient Power on CMP Tyre, Usually it's going to be 50-50 who gets the win, depending on if they've got 15 attack, which most I imagine will do, and we simultaneously KO. So now it's just, game of chicken, who's going to bring what Pokemon in, whether they're going to line up properly. I think I came in with the Excadrill because I thought it probably has more winning matchups than Heracross. So we bring in the Excadrill, and it's not the best case scenario because it is a Garchomp. They're going to throw a Sand Tomb, which we're actually going to let go through, and we switch straight into the Heracross, and they do stay in, and it looks like they're going to go for a Sand Tomb to debuff us here. Makes me think that they do have something weak in the back to Heracross, and they are staying in even more, so they are going to throw another Sand Tomb to debuff us even more. We're letting it go through, there's no point shielding there, and they do actually have the Snorlax, so they did have something in the back. They didn't want to see Heracross, and they were thinking to themselves that if they debuff me enough, then they could probably just come in and lick down, or one body slam would be enough. But we bait them there with the Rock Blast, which is very good. We're going to have to shield this up, so it's definitely going to take us out, the fact that we've been debuffed twice. And now we're going to go for the close combat, and I am expecting them to let this go through, and they do let it go through, so that's perfect, and we go for another close combat straight away. We'll see whether they want to shield this up. They actually let it go through, which is very surprising, and then we come in with the Excadrill and we just mud shot down, so that's a great win there, especially after that second phase of the game where we came in with the bad one, but having the Heracross in the back really helped us out. So into another mirror match there, and as you see straight away we desync. I wasn't actually sure which one of us got the benefit there. It looks like it may have been him because he hits the charge move first. So this happened quite a few times. Sometimes it happened in my favour and sometimes it didn't. But once again, we're just both going for Ancient Powers, and what I found is that most people aren't going to shield up the Ancient Power because they know that shield advantage is very crucial, and if someone else comes in with like a Metagross, farms down, Metagross can still do damage even against its hardest counters. So we end up being in an Excadrill mirror match, and you can see I actually count up to 5 and I swap on the drill run into Heracross because it's not very effective, so we just wasted their energy completely. And now we're going to see whether they want to swap out, and they don't, so that is a tell that they may have someone in the back that is weak to Heracross, and it is a Conkeldurr. So being a bug typing, it does actually resist the fighting. So this is actually a good matchup. Heracross is a fighter that can beat most of the other fighters, but they are just going to counter us down the whole way, which isn't particularly great. We do get the first shield with the Rock Blast, and likely we're going to get the second shield with that, and we do have a drill run stored, so this is absolutely perfect because we come straight in and we take out the Conkeldurr with our drill run. We've still got 2 shields, and it's a GG's. My opponent backs out. The first of many top lefts to come. Well, I don't remember, I'm sure there's a few. But anyway, into the next battle, so it's against the Gyarados, and it is a Dragon Breath Gyarados, so this is a very good matchup once again. We're just going to stay in, and I'm quite surprised they're staying in themselves. They're probably just looking to do a bit of damage. Maybe they're going to swap out after this Aqua Tail. If they don't, they throw another Aqua Tail, so that's absolutely perfect. And at this point, I'm thinking I probably can farm down all the way. As you see, I did actually get charms in on both the times that he threw the Aqua Tails there. And it's so nice to be on the other end of it because it's impossible to deny a charm sometimes. I don't know when the animation starts and stops, but I'm sure you've all experienced it yourselves. So they bring in an Excadrill. Now this is actually quite good. I mean, they had a big farm down, but we managed to get a shield out of them, and we come in with Heracross, so that's absolutely perfect. And then they go into Garchomp. So not the best backline for Excadrill there because of the Excadrill, their Excadrill getting up energy, and now we've got the Garchomp. But we are just going to let this go through. We're going to throw a drill run. This will do a nice chunk of damage. Garchomp is very, very tanky, so it's not going to do a super amount of damage, but we're just putting on the shield pressure, and they do use their last shield, which is a very big surprise to me. They probably thought that the drill run is going to do more damage to them than a close combat from the Heracross. But at this point, it's absolutely perfect because now we can just shield up whatever they throw. We're definitely shielding this time. You ain't getting no outrage through this time, mate, but it is actually a Sand Tomb. And I'm hoping that the close combat can take them out. We don't want to give up that next shield because then we will be in a bad spot after debuffing ourselves, but it doesn't matter anyway. We've got that shield. We're going to be able to shield up. We probably could have survived a drill run anyway, to be fair. Sorry, a rock slide. And we throw the close combat and we get another win. So Heracross once again putting the work in at the back. You can see if there's a steel type in the back or even something that is neutral and you've got a shield advantage, Heracross can be very good. So we get Terrakion as a reward for those sets, and it took me about 4 hours to catch it. Thank you very much, Niantic. Never going to understand. Well, I do understand. They're leaving these legendaries in because it's wasting everyone's resources, but I don't see how a reward, here's your reward for doing well, here's all your balls gone and all your berries gone. And if you're like me, I don't grind outside too much, so getting balls back can be a bit of a pain. Anyway, so we've got another mirror match. It ended exactly the same as the first time. We were both simultaneously KO, and it's happened so much to me, it was insane. So again, we're just going to come in with the Excadrill, and again, it's the Garchomp, so not particularly great for us. They do go a little bit over this time, and I think I let this go through, and it's a bad call. I wasn't sure on the count for Earth Power. I know it's 7 to Outrage, so I'm pretty sure it's probably the same, it's probably 7. And I'm thinking, I'm probably pretty screwed here, but you never know. Sometimes when you sack a Pokemon like that, it can work out in your favour. Depends what they got in the back this week. The fact that they stayed in makes me think that they're going to shield this up because they must be weak to Heracross in the back, and they let it go through. So an absolutely terrible play on my end. And now we're going to have to commit our second shield because they're going to hit us with another Outrage. And they are staying in, which is very, very surprising. That's a misplay by my opponent. It's given me some sort of sliver of hope, but it is an Excadrill in the back. So we go for the Rock Blast bait, thinking they're definitely going to shield it up, and they call the bait. And that was my opponent's win condition there for sure. If I'd have just thrown the close combat, obviously it would be all over. Very, very good call by them. Can't hate on that. But we misplayed completely there. We should have just gone with the close combat against the Garchomp. We might have been able to survive a Rock Slide when we were debuffed and just counter down. But yeah, I think we just lost that matchup due to letting the Earth Power go through against the Garchomp. So GG's to my opponent. A bit rusty play from me there. It's been a while since I played this cup, so getting used to it again. So into the next one, we've got terrible lead, we've got Excadrill on the lead, we go straight into our own Excadrill, and that's because we don't want to go straight into Heracross because it's the direct counter. And you see the massive amount of lag there, and this actually works out in my favour, and this is a recommendation to all you trainers. If it stutters like that and suddenly all your energy just builds up, throw your move straight away because then you will get to throw first. There's a lot of time what happens is people hold off throwing their energy where due to the lag they don't want to throw their energy and then have it caught on something that's swapped out and they didn't realise. So in that case we actually got both shields from the Excadrill and we let their drill run go through. Now we're up 2 shields, so potentially the Heracross and the Togekiss can absolutely go to town. Shield advantage is so crucial in this cup, it's insane. So we shield up the Rock Slide just to keep some health on Heracross, and another top left, and so they must have been weak to Heracross and Togekiss in the back, and that little play with the lag, it just happened so quickly and it was unfortunate for them. They knew that's what cost them. So in this one we've got Haxorus on the lead, absolutely brilliant lead, and we go straight into Heracross when they bring in the Excadrill. We've seen this before, and this is that battle where they throw Drill Run for some reason, and I'm really confused as to why they go Drill Run. They throw it once, see that it's not very effective, and they throw it again. And I think that maybe just as they didn't realise the typing with the bug typing, it is neutral, the Rock Slide. They're probably thinking that's a fighter, it resists a Rock Slide. So they bring in the Haxorus straight away, and we go for double close combat and absolutely destroy the Haxorus. They've got 1 Pokemon left, it is a Magnezone. I think, should I have some fun here bringing the Togekiss for a laugh? What's the point? I might as well just end the game now. Another top left. He had absolutely no chance with the Magnezone in the back there. So it was an unfortunate situation for my opponent. So we're going to the next game. We've got Mamoswine on the lead, absolutely terrible lead. We do one charm and then go into the Excadrill, and they swap into a Waterfall Gyarados. What a surprise. They were a bit slow on the swap, and we managed to get to the 2 Rock Slides. So I'm expecting they will let one go and shield up. So they'll let the first one go through, expecting a shield now. So that's the little good thing about this. At least you're going to get the shield advantage, but it's still not the best situation. Heracross can do well against Mamoswine, but I think it's outpaced by the Avalanches, and 1 Avalanche is pretty much going to take us out because Mamoswine is very attack weighted. So we come back in with the Togekiss. We're not going to shield anything up because we know that the Mamoswine is just going to destroy the Togekiss. Well, saying that, it's not the worst matchup in the world because the charm isn't resisted by Mamoswine, so it does do a lot of damage, but we do let it go through. Come in with the Heracross, and we're thinking we're just going to bank once again on the Heracross cleaning up. So we do shield up the Avalanche, and I'm thinking to myself, more than likely they're going to get to 2, and they swap in the Togekiss, and we back out. So top left from me there, unfortunate. So we're going to the next battle, and we've got Roserade on the lead, very spicy, nice to see something a bit different. I was going to back out straight away, but then I realised that they only had Bullet Seed, and I'm thinking to myself, it's highly unlikely that they have Sludge Bomb. Most likely they have Weather Ball and Leaf Storm. So we let the first Weather Ball go through, and it doesn't do a lot of damage, so I'm thinking this is pretty good. Potentially a bad lead is now turned into a good one due to the movesets, which can sometimes be the case with Pokemon Go. So we go for the Rock Slide, the Ancient Power, and they do shield it up, which is quite surprising to me. I would have thought they would let that go through. And we're not going to shield up this Weather Ball because it's not going to be enough still. And then they swap it into Gyarados and they snipe me. So very, very good play by my opponent. Likely they've stored a move on the Roserade. So we come in with Heracross because the Excadrill does not want to see the waterfalls, and at this point I feel I'm in a bad way. It's not looking good at all. A Rock Blast isn't going to do enough to take it out. They're going to get to another Aqua Tail. If I let the Aqua Tail go through, they likely will be able to farm me down. If I shield it up, then I'm down 2 shields, and they've got a Weather Ball probably stored on the back and Excadrill. I think to myself, it doesn't matter either way, I'm going to come in with the Excadrill and take a ton of damage if I don't, so I farm up as much as possible, throw the Rock Blast, and expecting them to let go through, but they do shield up, and then they just swap into Roserade to take out the Heracross. And at this point I'm thinking, well, this is definitely a GG's to my opponent. They're probably going to get to another weather ball here, so Roserade absolutely putting in the work, and to be honest, I can't even get mad because it's just nice to see something different in the league. So yeah, we take out the Roserade, they come back in with the Gyarados, is it? No, I think I banked on them coming back in with the Gyarados, and they actually come back in with a Crocodile. So this is unfortunate, because I think there was a glimmer of hope for us to win it if we would have gone double drill run. The problem would have been that they still have health on the Gyarados, and so we would have had to farm up as max as possible and then try to get to a rock slide. We probably would have had to take one waterfall. So there was actually a chance there, so it shows you're not always done for. So you always stay until the end unless you're absolutely certain. Okay, so we're going to the next one, and it's another Togekiss mirror match. What a surprise. So we've seen this before time and time again. I'm going to just see if the same thing plays out. I think out of all my battles, I've only had maybe 1 to 2 people shield the Ancient Power. And I shielded it once, and it was a big mistake, so I decided I wasn't going to do it again. So we throw the Ancient Power, and they do let it go through, and we're going to have another simultaneous KO. And then the coin flip on what we bring out to face each other. So I'm going to go in again with the EXCADRILL, and it's a Snorlax, so it's a shame we didn't come in with the Heracross there, because we would have absolutely pulverised it. So they're going to go for a move here. I do shield up, which, yeah, it was the wrong call. They weren't going to get to the superpower. Now, Lick is a very, very hard move to count. It's very hard to keep track of the little tongues appearing on the screen, but I think that it's 11 or 12 for a body slam, 14 for a superpower. So yeah, it's quite a difficult one to count down, but we're definitely going to let this go through now. We're just going to hope that whatever's in the back doesn't want to see Heracross. And it's that EXCADRILL again. A lot of people running EXCADRILL on the back. Another top left from my opponent. GG's. So into our next battle against Johnny718 blah, 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 blah. And it is a Gyarados with Waterfall in the lead, and they swap out, which is surprising because it's not the worst matchup with Waterfall. It's relatively even. I think Togekiss does still win if there are no shields, though, obviously due to the Ancient Power damage. So the Snorlax comes in. We know we can take the Body Slam, and we've done this before, so we farm up to 2 close combats, throw the first one, and we're expecting the Gyarados to come back in. So we'll go for the Rock Blast, as we've already seen. Do a little bit of damage on the Gyarados. So this is the thing, I like Heracross a lot, and it's nice to use something a bit different, but it's just not quite there. It's not quite got enough attack power, not quite enough bulk to really compete with the rest of the things in the league. Well, I mean, that's a bit unfair. It can compete. We've seen here it does absolutely pulverise some things in the meta. So we come into a EXCADRILL mirror match. I think they swap straight out into it, so we're a little bit behind. But again, I think I can see that there is a little bit of lag, a little bit of desync between the two of us. Look, as soon as I threw the drill run, they then lagged and missed out on a turn of energy, and that might be the difference. And it just shows that the servers are so unstable at the minute. It's pretty insane. So we do shield up the drill run, and it looks like we might actually be able to get to our own drill run, which is insane because, like I say, they swapped in. So once again, players swapping in their EXCADRILLs, and somehow we're managing to get our moves off before they do. So very unfortunate on my opponent's end. GG's. Into the next battle against Rintak 3. Oh, lovely name. And again, it's a Togekiss lead. Now, what can I say, guys? Like, it's not my fault. Everyone's using the same stuff in this league. I think we've seen quite a lot of people start to run Magnezone on the lead, just simply to counter those Togekiss leads that everyone's seeing. So yeah, they brought in the Metagross, and we go straight into EXCADRILL. So, you know, we've seen this all before. I did think to myself, as possible, I could have gone for a Great there and undercharge and farm down. If you guys don't know about undercharging, sometimes you can get a bit more energy. Say if you CMP tire, you didn't want to throw your energy, and you know you can farm down, don't hit any bubbles and just farm them down. Obviously it wasn't the case in that situation. We maybe could have thrown a Great and then farmed down from there, but I didn't want to risk it, so I didn't take that risk. So we threw the Rock Slide against their Togekiss, they let it go through, and then they swapped out into EXCADRILL. We swap out into Heracross, and it's another top left. As soon as people see that Heracross against the EXCADRILL, they're just quitting, and I don't blame them. So into the next one, we've got Gyarados, and it's a Waterfall Gyarados, and they stay in this time, so we'll see this match up all the way through. They throw their energy. We know we can take one Aqua, and I think it's just a case of, you know, who wants to use the shield here. So we do throw the Ancient Power, see if they want to shield up. I get a feeling they're gonna. They do shield up because they're thinking they could probably farm us down, hoping they can't, but unfortunately they do by just 1 HP. We come in with Heracross because we don't want to take an Aqua on the EXCADRILL. Oh, and now you throw an outrage, so it's not particularly great for us, but we do have 2 shields at least, and you know, Heracross took that outrage pretty well. I've got to say I'm surprised. I thought that was going to pretty much one-shot us, but it did pretty well. So this is great. They bring in Metagross. We're going to throw the close combat. I'm expecting they're going to let it go through, considering they have 1 shield. It does quite a lot of damage. Going to the EXCADRILL, and now they throw their move. Now I'm pretty sure this was not an earthquake, but I'm going to just shield it up anyway, just to maintain health. And it's a Mamoswine in the back, so the fact that we have got that energy lead there is very crucial. I'm pretty sure the Mamoswine will win this matchup in the even shielding scenarios, so it was very good for us to get that energy lead in. So we get off 1 drill run, we'll go for the second one. They're definitely going to shield this up, and now we're just going to look to outpace them to the next one. Mamoswine is a very good pick. I use it quite a lot in the Open Master League. I'm thinking that maybe we'll use it for a little bit during this one, but I'm not sure if it has as much play as it does in the Open Master League. So we get to another drill run, they go down, the Metagross comes in, and we just bring in a Heracross just to punch it in the face and say, get out of here, we're sick of you in your face, alright? Sick of seeing Metagross. So into the next one, we've got Magnezone on the lead, absolutely terrible lead, but it's nice to see something a little bit different, and instead of another Togekiss. So we go into our EXCADRILL, and they come in with the Waterfall Gyarados. So as we've seen before, should be able to get a shield out of them at least. I have seen a few people double shield, which is quite crazy, because you can take the Rock Slide. So they do shield up, and they're going to take us out with another Waterfall. We're going to come back in with the Togekiss. And at this point, I'm thinking we're going to let everything go through and bank on the Heracross once again. So we try to take them out with the Charms, and they get through another Aqua Tail. And I think this was the last battle of this set. I did go 4-1 up until this point, so we see how this one goes out. They come in with Magnezone, we go straight into Heracross, and it is actually a Haxorus. So this is pretty good as well, because we are resisting the counters. Dragon Claw, as you see, does a lot of damage, and straight away I realised that, I've just not used my shield at the right time. I can't believe it. I don't know why I'm not shielding up certain things. Maybe it's just a bit rusty in this league, but anyway, they shield up the Rock Blast, which is great. And we shield up the Night Slash, and at this point I've realised once again that that's the end of the battle, because I've just not used the shield at the right time, which is unfortunate, but you know, you just got to get to learn these things. I thought we could have taken a Dragon Claw quite easy. Hoping with Bated Breath that we can get to the Flamethrower against this Magnezone, but it's not going to happen. They're definitely going to get to another Mirror Shot. And I back out in typical angry trainer fashion to end the video. So GG's to all my opponents there. I've got rewarded with a Scrafty at the end of that set, which is good. I'm building up some XL candy, as I do have a rank 2 Scrafty for the Ultra League. So all in all, Heracross, very fun pick. Definitely not meta, more like anti-meta, and definitely has potential to fit some interesting teams around. So massive thank you to anyone that's watched this all the way through. Appreciate it was a long video, and thank you very much. I really appreciate everyone. Please like the video, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts, and stay angry trainers. I'll catch you next time.